grief is just love with no place to go. So don't beat yourself up for being sad today. Don't beat yourself up for being sad any day. If you clicked on this video, you're likely feeling something heavy and you are seeking solace, you're seeking refuge, you're seeking support, you want to feel seen, you want to feel heard, you want somebody to know what you're going through, or you want to see somebody else who is going through the same thing so you know that you're not alone. Hi, my name is Zakia Chase. I'm a certified yoga instructor and holistic health advocate, and today I want to talk about grief. So I recently released a meditation, releasing grief meditation. It's a 10-minute meditation. It's over here. You can watch it if you would like. But when I was recording it, I cried. I didn't realize how impactful and how powerful it was for me. And when I did it again today, I cried. Like once it was released, published, and I sat down to do that meditation, I cried. I didn't realize that I was still holding on to a lot of grief, right? Whether it be with the loss of loved ones or the loss of the life that I thought I'd be living, the loss of the love that I thought that would last a lifetime. Grief comes in so many different packages, right? So I realized that I was suppressing a lot. And I feel like a lot of us do this when we're in survival mode. I know I do. Like when I'm in survival mode and it's just like, I don't got time to deal with these emotions right now. Like oftentimes I would just keep pushing through. Like I would just like keep it moving. Like I can't even deal with this. Like my day to day, I got to make sense of my day to day. Like what? I can't even deal with like all these heavier things because I feel like they're going to be debilitating. Like it's going to leave me in a situation where I won't have the energy to do what I really need to do to keep pushing the needle forward. But I want to urge myself and employ myself and empower myself to make time and space for that grief. Make time and space. Like I don't remember where I got this from or where I heard this from, but make a date with your emotions. Like, okay, you might be at work and you probably can't deal with this right now, but maybe you make a date with yourself to journal at a certain time of the day. You know, when you get home and you in your bed, once you tend to the kids, for my moms, once you tend to the kids and everybody's fed, you take that time for yourself. Or maybe you're an early riser like I am. I tend to myself first thing in the rising. I get up every day around like 6 a.m. naturally. No alarm sometimes. Like most of the time I'm getting up before my alarm. In those 2 hours, like, do not disturb. That's my time. So maybe like I was in meditation today, I was emotional, right? Like, and it's not that I'm gonna go out and then put my best face forward to other people. It's just this might not be the best space to do this at, right? Like if I'm out in public and I break down, like I'm not surrounded by people that I love that are gonna be able to console me in the way that I need to be consoled. Like, okay, so maybe I make a date with somebody I love that I know can console me, that I know can support me, that can show up for me in the way that I really need right now, right? Call my sister, hey, I had a rough day. Maybe like you want to get together later, like so maybe we could just talk and I can like, you know, release and unload, and you can release and unload too, like whatever that looks like for you. But I want to like urge myself and urge anybody else like to make time for those heavier feelings, for those heavier emotions, because they're going to come out one way or another. I talked about in another video how I am in my luteal phase of my cycle, and this is the time where things that have been suppressed start to unearth. Like you got to address them because you're about to go into, this is like our inner fall as women. The leaves are falling, it's starting to get cold, it's time to go inside, meaning it's time to go inside. It's time to go inside. It's time for you to look into you, see what things that need to be addressed, see what ways that you didn't show up for yourself, see what ways that anything, like whatever it is, maybe everything is great, but in this season, you just need to go back to the drawing board and see if there's any tweaks that you can make so that when you come into your later seasons, your follicular and your ovulation seasons, you now have the energy behind the intention. Right now, you setting the intention, right? You getting grounded. You're like, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. Okay, I might not really be in the space to like address it like fully right now, but at least I can acknowledge this is how I'm feeling. But yeah, doing that meditation, I did the meditation. It's a 10-minute meditation, and there's a visualization aspect where I ask that you visualize the grief as a stone, right? And you put the stone in your hand, and you visualize that there's a river in front of you, and a river or a stream, and you take that stone and you place it into the water, in the river, in the stream, and you set the intention that you're releasing that grief. And it's not that you're letting that person go. It's not that you're letting that love go. It's not that you're letting that life that you thought. You're releasing it, but you're just gently giving it another place to go right now. Right? Just letting it go for now, because it's too much for you to carry right now, right? And I also want to say that grief is just love with no place to go. You grieve because you love. That's honorable. Like, that's amazing. Like, you grieve because you love. You're a human being, or you're a spiritual being in a human existence, in a human incarnation. That's just my belief. And your emotions are a part of you. We are taught to suppress them, but your emotions are a part of you, right? Like, the grief reminds you that you are alive. The grief reminds you that you love. The grief reminds you that, like, that person who is no longer with us played a major role in your life. You love them, you value them, you cherish them. And though they're not physically present anymore, you still love them, you value them, you cherish them. Right now, you can't touch them the way you would want to. You can't kiss your mother on the cheek the way you used to. Your dad can't give you that big bear hug he used to give you. Your uncle can't touch your nose. No matter how big you get, he still looks at you as his little niece, right? You love that person, and that's why it hurts, right? Grief is just love with no place to go. You love that. You love so much that it hurts. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no time limit. There's no time frame that you can put on grief. Just how I learned today. I could be fine. Everything could be going good. And then I'll just have a wave of emotions come over me. And that's that love coming in to remind me that you really love this person. You really cherish this person. You really honor the value that they brought into your life. Like, grief is just love with no place to go. So don't beat yourself up for being sad today. Don't beat yourself up for being sad any day. I want to, like, urge all of us to, like, open up to like express that to people. Like, I'm having a really hard day. Like, it's I'm getting better, y'all. I'm the person that typically self-isolates. And I know it's not healthy, because then it just, like, it makes it harder for me to connect, because now I have this idea that, well, all the hard things that I ever had to deal with, I dealt with them alone, but that's by choice. That's because I never spoke up, right? And maybe in some dynamics, you don't feel safe enough to speak up. If we go back to the situation where I said, I'm not going to deal with this outside, because I'm not surrounded by people that love me, that can console me in the way that I need to be consoled or whatever. Like, maybe you don't feel like the people in your life couldn't console you. That's where professionals come into play. Like, and maybe they might not be able to hug you. There's boundaries within those, but they can be able to hear you out. You can just transparently share everything you're feeling, everything you're thinking. There's a quote or a phrase, heal out loud, we almost lost you in silence. Yeah. Heal out loud, we almost lost you in silence. So me picking this camera up, propping it up, and saying everything that I'm feeling is also me healing in public. I had a tagline for so long, like, I'm healing in public to help people who may be suffering in private. So, yeah, if you want to take intentional time with yourself, maybe you make a date with your emotions and you sit down and you do that grief meditation. It's free. Or maybe you don't do it. I I care, but it doesn't matter to me whether you do it with me. What matters more than anything is that you do it, so that you don't continue to suffer, right? So you don't continue to deal with all these big emotions on your own, right? What I love about like going to therapy is that I feel like it helps you simplify those big emotions, or help you really understand why they're here in the first place. And with the right therapist, you get tools and resources to help you navigate through those big emotions. A lot of us will just think that I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna get it out, and then I'm gonna keep on moving. But I mean, that's cool. I love that you're feeling your emotions. I love that you're honoring your emotions. But like, what we gonna do about it? like I said, love, like grief is just love with no place to go. Like, how you gonna channel that love in a proper way? Maybe you can start doing something in the person that you love in their memory, right? Maybe you can do something that, I don't, whatever their life's work is. Maybe like channel that love. Like, that's what therapy is for. That's what healthy and healing conversations are for. Um, I also want to say before we close out, try not to like get emotional either. Grief is not just the loss of a loved one. Grief could be, like I said earlier, you grieving the life you thought that you would be living, or the love that you thought that you would have. A lot of the emotions that I was feeling today was me grieving the life that I thought that I would have, in connection with the love that I thought the love that I thought would last a lifetime. There's a part in the meditation where I say, thank you. I think we talked about this already. Thank you for the love that you gave me. Thank you for this. Thank you for the lessons. And it kind of frustrates me sometimes that like it didn't continue. Like, damn, like that's I love this. Like, I love this person. I love, like, it still boggles my mind sometimes. Like, why didn't it like pan out? Like, for what? Like, oh. So there's like that gray area. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but like in the spiritual community, we talk a lot about like the dark night of the soul, where you have who you once were, who you're becoming, but then you're currently in that dark period where there's just a lot of chaos and confusion. Like, you have no idea what's on the other side of you. You haven't even experienced all the people that are going to love you yet, but you know that this was the best love that you've experienced so far. So operating in that dark space, there could be a lot of fear, there could be a lot of doubt, there could be a lot of worry, there could be a lot of anxiety. And that's what I was experiencing. Like, what if I never experienced that again? Oh my God. Like, I know I don't want to go back. And there's no such thing as going back, because think about it. Like, let's say you and the love of your life, y'all take some time off. You're going to come back as a new person. And it's not coming back. There's no such thing as coming back. There's only the present. Like, y'all are going to reunite as two different people. That relationship will never look the same. Never look exactly the same. Because y'all are two different people. Y'all evolved in amazing ways. But that dark period, that unknown, like, I don't even know where I'm going, right? I have really no idea like where I'm going, and I don't want to go back to where I was. Like, I like some aspects of that, but I learned too much. I know too much to go back to that. And then you're in that dark period in between. So you could be grieving that. Like, you could be grieving the love that you thought that would last a lifetime. So a lot of people experience grief after they go through divorce. You could also be grieving the life that you thought you would have in a sense of the career that you thought you would have. Like, I thought I was going to be an attorney, y'all. Like, what? So a lot of my like identity, like grieving like this sense of progress or success, like that I thought I had amassed, or Grief looks different. It's not just about like losing a loved one. You could be grieving right now and you just don't have the language to describe and explain that you're grieving. Um, some of us have experienced loss of our loved ones, as in like babies. Like, well, what if? Like, what would my life look like if I had my baby? Like, what would like? There are so many things that you could be grieving over. So, yeah, I encourage you to make intentional time for those big emotions. Come out and speak up. Ask for help, seek support, seek guidance, whether it's professionally or personally. Tell somebody that this is what you're going through. Honor yourself, love yourself enough to get the help that you deserve with dealing with all these big emotions. I'm glad I could hold space for you today, and I look forward to talking to you on another video. This has been a great addition to Healing Conversations, and I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.